Hello, everyone. How are you today? Okay, I want to make sure everyone can see me, everyone can hear me all right. You guys, wonderful, wonderful. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so let me know you guys can see and hear me all right there. Oh, perfect. Well, hello, all my wonderful students, all our regular viewers and students. So, Rosa, the French Leo, Dari. Oh my goodness, it always makes my heart happy when I go to log on and I see all of our regular students that week after week, you guys are here and you're excited to learn. And as a teacher, that is just fantastic. And again, it makes my heart happy. And of course, in addition, when we have new students that are joining our class, that is so very, very exciting. So if this is your first time, once more, so very happy to have you in class. And my name is Abby, and this is Pre-Intermediate English. Now, if you're watching or you're watching live for the first time, just let people know you'll see me looking over to my left, and that's because we have our live stream going. If there's ever a question or you have a comment and I'm not able to get to it during our live stream, please, once this video is posted, scroll down to the bottom, and if you have a question or comment, please leave it there, and I will do my absolute best to answer any of your questions. And while you're there, if you enjoy our Smrt videos, and if you enjoy today's video, give a thumbs up. It just lets me and the other teachers know that we're doing a good job for you, our students, who of course are the most important part of class. And with that, as always, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or even good night, wherever you are at in the world. I am once more so very happy, so very glad that you are joining us in class and for Smrt English. And once more, I'm seeing, yes, so many of our regular students, and then so many new students, and that is exciting. Rosa, French Leo, Dari, you guys are wonderful, and all our new students, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. And there are other Smrt Live lessons. There's 3 male, so guy teachers, Sean, Neil, and Joshua, that also teach different Smrt Live classes. So you are always more than welcome to be a part of those classes as well. But once more, as I said, I am Abby. This is Pre-Intermediate English, and it's every Tuesday morning at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. So again, I know that translates, that's morning, afternoon, good night, all over the world. But if you need to double check times, it's Pacific Standard Time. And I, of course, am coming to you live from SCEL, which is the Spokane College of English Language. Spokane is in Washington State, so you've probably heard of Seattle, Washington. Probably heard of Seattle, Washington, because it's very famous for a lot of different things, but maybe most importantly, Seattle is the home of Starbucks. So it's where the very first Starbucks store and coffee shop ever was. And I know in my experiences traveling all around the world, Starbucks are everywhere, but it started right here in Washington State, in Seattle, Washington, which is on the west side of the state. Where we are at is in Spokane, so the east side of Washington State, not too far from the Canadian border. We've had students ask before where exactly we are, and we are only about 2 hours south or below the Canadian border. So a wonderful place to live, a wonderful place to visit or study if you are ever interested. It would be an absolute dream of mine to be able to meet some of my wonderful and incredible students' lives. So if you've ever thought of studying abroad, please consider the Spokane College of English Language, or of course our fantastic partner college, CCEL, the Canadian College of English Language. So I have my coffee, we have our lessons, I have fantastic students, so we are ready to go. Oh my goodness, and Gus, my apologies if I mispronounced your name. Fantastic observation. And grunge. Yes, grunge music, which was first became popular about 20 years ago, maybe 22, 23 years ago. So if you've ever heard of very famous bands, Nirvana or Pearl Jam, yes, that was called grunge music, and it's a type of rock and roll music that was made popular about 20 years ago. And absolutely right, Gus, and once more, my apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, but absolutely right, and fantastic observation. Seattle, Washington is also considered the home of grunge music, so kind of that's where grunge music first started, so that is fantastic. And JB says, yes, Nirvana from the early 90s, absolutely. A lot of bands, a lot of musicians come out of Seattle, Washington. If you've ever heard of Jimi Hendrix, very popular musician about 30 years ago, he as well is from Seattle. So a lot of really good music comes out of Washington State. But we're not here for music, we're here for Smart English. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, hello, Natish. Welcome, Steve, Fanny. Excellent. Great. More of our usual students that are here today, our usual friends, and so very glad to see you. Let's go ahead and get started. And today, as promised, we are going to talk about making plans. So how to make plans in English, right? So of course this is very important, and what's nice about this lesson is it's a combined listening exercise. We're going to do a little bit of grammar, and then it's a lot of applicable, so that means knowledge that you can apply, especially when you are speaking English and you are wanting to make plans. So what do we mean by making plans? Keep watching, and all questions, hopefully all questions, will be answered. And again, if they're not, scroll to the bottom of the video, post your questions there. I'll do my best to get to those. So before we start, a few of our vocabulary words that'll be review, and then also a few that we will get to either in this lesson or the next lesson. But these are words that are used in this exercise, so I want to make sure that we understand them before I use them. And looking at them, my apologies that I can't make this screen bigger, otherwise it cuts out part of the video. So again, we'll just use it as a listening exercise. So few of the vocabulary words that we will be using in this exercise. The first is barbecue, or we also shorten it to BBQ. And we know that's a noun, and it's just a type of cooking, or when you're cooking outside. Concert. So concert, once more, is a noun, and concert, like grunge music. So those different grunge bands, if you go see them play music, you're going to their concert. So any kind of music, whether it's grunge music or classical music or rap music, any kind of music, if you go and see that music performed, that's a concert. All right, moving over, free. And we're going to go over free as a vocabulary word today, so stay tuned farther in this video. But there are a few different meanings for the word free. For our purposes in this exercise, when we say free, we mean available. We mean open and available. Get together is our phrasal verb, and it just means to have a meeting or spend time or make date or plans to come together, to spend time together. Phrasal verb, get together. Continuing on, picnic. And a picnic, once more, is a noun, and it's just a meal, but what's important, it's a meal that you eat outside, right? So it's very popular, of course, we know, to go to a park or to go to some beautiful place outside. Pack your lunch, pack your dinner, pack whatever meal you are going to eat, and you take it. You find a lovely, very nice place outside, and you have a picnic. And then our last vocabulary word that we'll be using today in our lesson is probably. This is an adverb, and so to say something will probably happen, we're saying it is very likely, it is most likely that this will happen. It will probably happen. It's very likely. It's very certain even that something will take place. Probably take place. Oh, Dari says barbecue sauce. Yes, barbecue sauce. So then barbecue, if we're talking about barbecue sauce, barbecue would be used as an adjective and sauce would be the noun. So barbecue sauce is a sauce that has a very distinct, a very individualized taste, and you can put it on meat. It's very popular when people are barbecuing to use barbecue sauce. Wonderful observation, and thank you for the post. Oh, Mr. Nandish, I don't mind that you're late. I am just glad you are here. So, Mr. Nandish, welcome to class. Nora, yes, wonderful. So glad to see our lovely friends as well. All right, so if we're ready, we will now go into our lesson and learn how to make plans in English. And with this, there are some listening exercises that I'm going to play, and you'll be hearing different conversations between a couple people. And I think that this is helpful because then you're listening to other English speakers and maybe even other English accents. So we know that English as a broad language, there's different accents. Even within America, there are different accents, different ways that words are pronounced. And then certainly between America and England, Great Britain, or Australia, New Zealand, there's different accents. We're all speaking the same English, but we might have different ways to say things. So with these listening exercises, you're going to be hearing a couple different accents, which I think is helpful. But in addition, I will also read the conversations just in case you missed anything. You can hear the different accents and then double check to make sure that you heard correctly. So, making plans. So making plans and suggesting making plans is just setting a date or setting a time and a place to do something, right? And most of the time, if not always, when we make plans, when we make a suggestion, we are doing it in the question form. We are doing it in the present continuous. Right, so as you'll see as we go through our conversations, we're using the present continuous, and we're also using our be going to. And we know that the present continuous and be going to are so very similar that really either one can be used. And that's what we will be using when we are making plans. So let's go ahead and continue on. So here is our first conversation. If you can see it on screen and the conversation written out, and then now we're going to listen to it.
Hey Carla, what are you doing this Saturday?
I'm not sure. I don't have any plans. Why?
Some of us are going to the beach for a picnic. Do you want to come?
That sounds great. What time?
Probably in the afternoon, and we'll stay for dinner. Bruno is bringing a barbecue.
I'm in. I'll give you a call on Saturday.
Cool.
All right, so we just listened to a quick conversation, and hello, knowledge is free, and hello, Sukran, and again, as always, my apologies if I mispronounce names. And there's so many different beautiful names from all over the world. All right, so I hope you guys can hear that okay. Oh, you guys are saying there's bad sound? Okay, no problem. Then instead of playing the conversations, that's not a problem. I'll just read them instead. Perfect. Thanks, guys, for checking back and letting me know that couldn't hear it quite so well. All right, everyone hearing me okay now? Wonderful. We will continue on. So with this conversation, it's two women talking. Hey, Carla, what are you doing this Saturday? I'm not sure. I don't have any plans. Why? Some of us are going to the beach for a picnic. Do you want to come? That sounds great. What time? Probably in the afternoon, and we'll stay for dinner. Bruno is bringing a barbecue. I'm in. I'll give you a call on Saturday. Cool. Finish it up with slang. Cool. Right? So this is starting our lesson on making plans. So setting appointments, setting dates, making plans with people in English. Our second conversation, so between two gentlemen. Okay, well, it was nice talking to you. You too. Let's get together. So there's our phrasal verb in our vocabulary. Let's get together again soon. Well, are you free on Friday? We can meet for coffee downtown. Sorry, I can't. So I cannot. I'm busy on Friday. So sorry, I cannot. I am busy on Friday. That's okay. How about Sunday? Yes, I'm free on Sunday. Give me a ring. Okay, great. I'll talk to you later. And just so you know, give me a ring, that's just informal. That's slang for give me a call. We say when a phone has a call, we get an alert. We call that a ring. So shortened and slang, informal. To give me a ring just says give me a call. Right? We're going to read over one more conversation and then we'll break it down and exactly what it means to make suggestions and how we're seeing that in these conversations. And again, note that is in the be going to or the present continuous form, because as we know, be going to and present continuous, both of those we're talking about future plans or future arrangements. We're talking about the future, so what has not happened yet. Past has already happened, has already taken place. Present is right now, this very moment. And then future is what will happen in the future, what will happen in more time. So we're using the present continuous and be going to, and once more, we know that that is talking about future plans, what we want to have happen, future arrangements, what we have planned to happen. So that using present continuous be going to when we're making plans. Our third example, are you doing anything tomorrow night? No plans. Why? Do you want to do something? Sure. Any ideas? There's a concert in the park. Do you want to go? Yeah, that sounds like fun. Great. Let's do that. Right, so now let's break down. We listened, we heard 3 different conversations, making plans. Now let's break it down and exactly what that means. So when we're making plans, when we want to make plans with someone, we usually start with a question. And the reason we do that is we start with a question, usually asking them if they are available, if they are open at a certain time. And of course, they can either say yes or no. And we ask the question because if they say no, then we understand, then we know those plans are not going to take place. But if they answer yes, then we can suggest, we can give ideas for the plans, what we want to do. If that's not completely clear, then once more, keep watching and hopefully it will all be explained. Looking over, Kishore Ragi. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce names, but wonderful to have you in class. Okay. So here we go. Here's some examples. When we make plans, when we're asking someone if they would like to be a part of our plans, we usually start with a question. Here's common ways to ask those questions. And once more, it's usually about a specific time and a specific day. So, what are you doing on Thursday? And the person can either say, I'm free, I'm open, available, or I am busy, I am not available. Second way to answer, exactly that. Are you free or are you busy on Friday? So you're asking that person if they're available, and you're asking a specific either time or day or both. Our third example, are you doing anything on Saturday? Once more, whoever we're asking can either say yes or say no. If they say, we ask, what are you doing? If we ask, are you doing anything on Saturday? And they say yes, then we know they're busy. And that ends it, unless we suggest another time. Or if we ask, are you doing anything on Saturday? And they say no, then that means they don't have any plans. They don't have anything on their schedule or any plans for Saturday. And then at that point, we can suggest or we can ask if they would like to perhaps get together. So our phrasal verb of joining together, or we can suggest other plans, other things to do. Looking at our fourth example and different ways to make plans. What are you up to this weekend? And up to is just what are you doing? So if someone asks, what are you up to? What are you doing? And then our last one, very common way to suggest or make plans. Do you have any plans tonight? And once more, note that those are all be going to forms or present continuous. Now, how to answer these questions. If you already have plans, there's different ways to answer. So once more, in our present continuous, I'm, and then your verb, ing. So are you doing anything tonight? Say, I'm cooking, or I'm hiking. We could also answer, sorry, I'm busy. So I already have plans, I'm not available. Or you can actually say that in its entirety, sorry, I have plans. Right, looking at a couple more conversations. Are you doing anything this weekend? So first the person's asking if that person has any plans. They can answer yes or no. If they already say that they have plans, then once more, that's the end. You suggested plans, but they're busy, so that would be the end of the conversation. Unless, because they're busy at that time or that date, you then suggest another time or another date to make those plans. So are you doing anything this weekend? I'm taking the bus to Seattle with a friend, maybe to see a grunge concert. Okay, cool, we'll have fun. So again, he's asking if she's doing anything, if she has plans. She does have plans, so for that conversation, that's the end. Now let's continue on. Now, if you are free, so if you are available, if you do not have any plans, then of course, in a similar way, there's common ways to answer that question. And with this, please note that then we usually offer a follow-up question. So the first person will ask a question if we're busy, if we're available. And if we are available, we say that, and then it's common to then ask a follow-up question or even to offer up a suggestion. Let's look at our examples. So if you are free, someone asks if you have plans, if you're available, and you are free, you can say that. I'm free. I'm available. Why? So then you are presenting it back to them. I am free. I am available. Why do you ask? Another way we can say, no, I don't have any plans. So I do not have any plans. What's going on? What's happening? You could also just say straight, no plans. So of course that means I'm available, no plans. And then in a very short way, we can ask you. And that's just a very short, informal way of saying, how about you? Do you have any plans? We can just shorten it down to you. It's a way of asking the other person if they're available, if they have plans. Right? Let's continue to look at our examples. So what are you doing on Saturday? No plans. Why? Once more, first person is usually asking either a yes or no question or just a short answer question. What are you doing on Saturday? They can answer in the negative, I already have plans, or I don't have any plans. Then usually we would answer and ask a question as part of our answer. Why? Why do you ask? Why do you ask if I have plans? What's your idea? So with that, when we're asked for the idea and we're suggesting the plan, you could say, do you want to do something? Right? And something that's very broad, that's very open. So you're just asking that person if they would like to get together. You're not saying specifically what the plans are when you get together, just opening up very broad, do you want to do something? And you're suggesting, you're giving an idea. Your idea is to get together, and then you can both decide what you'll do when you get together. In the same way, you can ask exactly that. Do you want to get together? Once more, our phrasal verb, and it just means come together, spend time together, maybe even as we're going over and reviewing our vocabulary. One of our vocabulary words, of course, is date, and that is just a set time and place that two people are meeting. So do you want to get together? You can be asking that person if they want to go on a date or if the two of you would like to have a date. With that, you can offer the suggestion with exactly what you are thinking. So in our first example, do you want to do something? It's very open. You're just suggesting that you get together. You're not suggesting what you will do when you're together. It'll be between the two people having a conversation to make those plans. Or you can suggest exactly what you're thinking. Do you want to cook dinner? Do you want to go fishing? Right? And again, you're asking that question, and that person can answer either in the affirmative, yes, or the negative, no. No, I don't want to cook dinner, or no, I don't want to go fishing, or yes. All right, and there's different ways to answer suggestions. So these are all in the affirmative, sure. We know sure means yes. Sure, sounds good. So sounds good is informal, and it just means that idea is good to me. That idea sounds good. You could answer if you're really excited, if you really want to show the person that you are excited, that that's something that you would very much like to do. That would be great. That would be fantastic. That would be awesome. You could fill it in. That would be great. It's again another way to, in the affirmative, say that yes, you would like to do something. You would like to make plans. One moment, I'm going to check over. Victor asked, hi, Abby. or hi, comma, Abby? Which one is correct? It is the second one, my friend. It is the second one, Victor. Great question. If you were writing it, it would be hi, comma, Abby. All right? Hi, comma, Abby. Wonderful. Great question. Thank you for that great question, Mr. Victor. Excellent. Oh, and Natty asks, what is the difference between arrange and prepare? And that's a fantastic question, especially when we're talking about plans or we're making plans, because once more, it's present continuous. We're talking about the future and something that we will arrange or something that we will prepare. What's the difference? Well, my wonderful friend Natty, in a lot of ways, arrange or prepare could be used as synonyms or used synonymously. We know that that means that they can be used interchangeably. You could use either or. The one little difference in arrange and prepare is also possibly to arrange could just be to put in position. So if you're having a large dinner and you have a lot of people coming over to your house, maybe you're having a barbecue and you have people coming over and you need to make sure that there's enough room for everyone at the table. With that, you might arrange the chairs. So place the chairs around the table so that there's enough room for all your friends. And that way we would say arrange. So arrange the chairs. Now prepare we would say more for the meal. So for dinner itself, you are preparing the meal. So that once more, in a lot of ways and a lot of times, prepare and arrange could be used synonymously, or one of the little differences is arrange is actually physically placing things, and prepare is more getting ready for. Also to prepare for a test or to prepare for an exam, which is going to be one of our vocabulary words as we continue on. And that just means a test or quiz. So to prepare means to get ready for, right? So Muna asks, how can we change a plan? So if we needed to change a plan, so that is assuming that the plan is already made. So you already have a plan, it's already set. So your question, if we need to change the plan, then an appropriate way, a common way is to say, I can't do this, or this happened, or this came up, or you would give the reason perhaps why you have to change the plan and then suggest another plan instead. So if we were planning on having dinner and maybe my friend's car broke down and I needed to go help my friend, I would call you and say, I'm so sorry, I cannot make dinner tonight. And then I would suggest, could we make dinner tomorrow night? So I'm telling you that I have to change our plans and then suggesting another plan instead. So I think that was one more time. Mona asked, how would we change plans? You would say that you have to change the plans, you have to break the plans, and then you would suggest instead new plans, right? Great question. Excellent. And Rosa asked, arrange or set up the table for dinner? Either or. That's exactly the same. Set up would be our phrasal verb. Arrange is just our base verb, but exactly the same thing. Set up the table, arrange the table. Fantastic question and fantastic observation, Miss Rosa. All right, continuing on, and if you have any more questions, please just post that at the bottom of the video, but we need to keep going on with our making suggestions and making plans. All right, so once more, there are different ways to ask. What are you doing on Saturday? She says, no plans, follows up with a question, no plans, why? So why are you asking? He answers, do you want to get together? So would you like to spend time together? She says, sure. She answers in the affirmative. And here we go, exactly that, if we're needing to change the plan. So with that, once more, you're just suggesting or you're giving a suggestion of a different time, or it might even be a different activity. So what you will be doing. If you ask, would you like to go hiking? And I said, I don't think I want to go hiking, but how about if we go fishing, right? So I'm suggesting a different activity, something else that we might do. And with that, as you heard, how about? That's the common way to change plans or present a different idea, present a different suggestion. So let's look at our examples. Are you free this Friday? I'm sorry, I'm busy that night. How about Saturday? So she's not able to make plans Friday, but she's asking, how about Saturday? She's presenting another idea or giving another suggestion. Friday won't work, but Saturday will. How about Saturday? All right, so there is the common and appropriate and best ways to make plans, to offer suggestions or ideas and things to get together, the most common ways and appropriate ways to make plans in English. So I hope that was helpful. Let me check real quick if there's any questions. Natty asked, what is the difference between edit and revise? Again, a lot of times edit and revise can be used synonymously, so interchangeably. Edit, we're looking usually at grammar. Okay, if we're editing, we're looking for mistakes. And then once we have identified those mistakes, then we go back and we revise. And this is, of course, if we're talking about our writing. If we're writing an essay, let's say. I go back, I reread my essay, and I edit it. So edit, I look for mistakes. And then once I find those mistakes, then I go back and change them, and we would say I go back and revise my essay. All right, so even though those can be used interchangeably, the little difference to make note of is that edit is to look for mistakes, and then once you have edited, then you go back, if we're talking about our writing, then we go back and revise, right? But with that, we could say with this, we can revise plans. We can go back. If we're talking once more about our writing, when we go back and revise, we're changing, we're correcting our mistakes. So we're changing whatever was a mistake. In the same way, if we want to revise plans or revise a schedule, it just means to go back and to change it. Right? Great question, Natty. And that was fantastic, because it fit in very well with if we have to change our plans, if we have to revise our plans. And with that, once more, we would say revise. We wouldn't say edit, although those two words can at times be used interchangeably, can be used synonymously. All right. Great. Rosa says revise is to fix mistakes. It's either to fix mistakes or to fix what's wrong, or to fix, once more, if we're talking about our plans, to fix what won't work. So if Rosa, you and I had plans to go out for coffee today, but maybe I started not feeling very well, I would say, my friend Rosa, I cannot meet for coffee today. How about we meet for coffee tomorrow? So there's my how about, as I'm suggesting a different plan or a different course of action. And once more, let me see. So then with that, I would be asking if can we revise our schedule? I know our schedule, our plan was to have coffee today, but since I don't feel well, can we change it? Can we revise our meeting time? So yes, Rosa, your question, revise is to fix mistakes. It could be to fix mistakes or just to fix whatever's wrong or to fix whatever won't work, such as if I got sick and we sadly couldn't make coffee, we would just revise our schedule, revise our plans. Great question, Miss Rosa. Wonderful. All right. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Oh, and Rosa says, I wish that was true. I know that if I had lots and lots and lots of money, I would visit the whole world and I would come and I would have coffee with each and every one of you. How fantastic, how incredible would that be? So yes, Miss Rosa, I agree. I wish it was true. But since it's not, or not for the time being, we will just continue on and continue learning more of our English together, and we're going to be doing that now and finishing up our last 20 minutes with some more vocabulary. And again, at the pre-intermediate level, it's so important to continue building our vocabulary because once more, now that you have the base understanding of English and grammar and sentence structure and the different rules in English, even though a lot of them are kind of crazy rules, now we can start adding that vocabulary together. So give me one moment. Okay, wonderful. So last week, the vocabulary word that we finished with was event. So an event is something specific that happened, or even something that will happen. So that will be an exciting event, or that was our question, what is the most important event that has happened in your life? So in that way, we're asking in the past, what is something significant that has happened? What is something that is significant or that is important that has taken place? So maybe if you are a parent, if you're a mother or a father, and someone asks, what's the most important event in your life? If you're a parent, you could say the day my child was born. Okay, that's a very specific and of course very important event, something that happened. So doing a quick review on our last week's word, event, and continuing on exam. And if you were paying close attention, I mentioned this a little bit earlier in today's lesson. An exam, it's a noun and it can be used synonymously with test or with a quiz, right? So an exam. There's an important exam next week in my history class. So there's an important quiz or an important test. All three of those in a lot of ways and a lot of times can be used interchangeably. The one thing is that a quiz is a little bit less and a test is usually a little bit more important, a little bit probably longer and probably counts more towards your score, whereas quizzes, so here at SCEL, we have weekly quizzes. So every Monday you take a quiz just to make sure that everything's good and that you learned everything that you needed to the week before. And then halfway through the class, halfway through the quarter, you take a test. So it's a little bit bigger, takes a little bit longer time. So quizzes are smaller, tests are bigger. Exams, we could really use interchangeably for either one of those. All right, excited. All right, so if you are excited, it means that you are looking forward to something, you are happy about something. All right, so with that, I hope that you guys are always excited to come to class and are excited to be a part of our Smrt Live classes. So excited easy synonym that we could use for that is happy, right? But excited's even a little bit more. And see, this is why it's so great when we start building our vocabulary, because even though happy and excited can be used interchangeably, synonymously, excited means happy, but even then a little bit more, right? So excited. Are you excited for the weekend? Or I hope you guys are excited for class. Experience. So here is a word that we know a lot of times in English, we have the same word and it can be different parts of speech. So experience can be both a verb or a noun. Let's look at our example. So experience. I want to experience living in a different country. So there we're using experience as a verb. And to experience, I want to experience living in another country. I want to know what it's like to live in another country, but not just know what it's like, but know what it's like because I did it myself, because I was actually there, because I had the experience. And then that way, experience would be used as a noun. So to experience something is to have something happen to you or to do something, to have an experience. So maybe if you were coming over to visit America and you had never had a barbecue before, that is a very American experience, right? So you would be having a very American experience. Barbecues are very, very popular in America. I always tell my students, anytime you have the opportunity to try something new while you are here in Spokane, please, I absolutely think you should, because it'll be a great experience. There, once more, I'm using experience as a noun, or I would tell my students, while you are in America, experience as many things as you can. There, I'm using it as a verb. All right? Wonderful. Continuing on. Fail. So I need to study. I don't want to fail the test. So fail, we know that a lot of times it's very helpful learning words to know the synonym, so to know words that mean the same. Sometimes it's most helpful to know the antonym, so the opposite. With this, fail is the opposite of succeed, right? So to succeed, yes, you do something or something happened. To fail is the opposite. Or when we're talking about academics, we're talking about school, you can fail a test or exam or quiz, of course, and that just means you got a low grade, you did not do well, so fail. And of course, you don't want to fail, and that's why you guys are so smart and you study. I need to study, I don't want to fail the test. Fall asleep. So here's another phrasal verb, and fall asleep just means go to sleep. Okay? For whatever reason, I'm not exactly sure. In English, we say to go to sleep is to fall asleep. Now, certainly, we know that fall, boom, we're not talking about that way. It's a phrasal verb. Fall asleep just means go to sleep. So I always make sure I love my coffee. You guys know that I love my coffee, but I don't drink coffee in the evening because for me, it keeps me awake and I'm not able to fall asleep. I'm not able to go to sleep. So fall asleep as our phrasal verb. And then Rosa asked, I've experienced living in a different country. Absolutely, that is absolutely correct. So I've experienced living in a different country, or you could say, I have had the experience. So again, when we use experience either as a noun or a verb. Yes, Miss Rosa, absolutely, that is correct. I've experienced living in a different country. Oh, and then, yes, Natty made the great observation, fall in love. So fall asleep, fall in love. Both of those we know we're not actually falling. That's just our phrasal verb. That's how we say it in English. Fall asleep, go to sleep, fall in love, be in love. Great observation. Great observation, Natty. Thank you. Okay. Continuing on, forever. So forever, it can be an adverb. As we're looking at this, I love this. She's playing the guitar. I love this. I could do it forever. With learning English, with learning any language, even, of course, speaking English, you continue to learn. You will continue to learn forever. I just had a birthday yesterday. I'm now 37 years old. I don't know how that happened. I've been speaking English all my life. I continue to learn. I continue, even though I teach vocabulary, I continue to hear new words or new phrases. I continue to learn, and we all continue to learn. You will continue to learn forever. Right, so it can be our adverb, so without end. It can be, we can also use it as an adjective. And if we're going back to our last unit when we were talking about animals and the natural world, and if you caught those videos, if you remember some of our vocabulary words, we talked about animals that live at a shelter. So shelter, a place for animals that don't have homes. And then to adopt an animal, and certainly children, humans can be adopted as well. But when we talk about adopting an animal, that means we bring the animal home, then it's our dog, it's our cat. And what we'll say with that, using forever as an adjective, is that when you adopt an animal, hopefully it'll be a forever home. So it will always be their home. If you adopt an animal, hopefully you will always have that animal. You will be able to give them a forever home. And in that way, we can use forever as an adjective. Otherwise, forever is just an adverb, and it means without end. It does not end. So the universe, we don't know where the universe ends. As far as we know, as far as science knows, the universe goes on forever, right? So forever, we can sometimes use it as an adjective, but most largely it'll be our adverb. It means without end. Now, free. Here's a word in English that can be 3 different parts of speech. Let's look at each one of them. So first, are you free tomorrow? This is free as it's being used as an adjective, and it just means available or open. Are you free tomorrow? Are you available tomorrow? So that would be free as an adjective. And again, a very popular way to make plans or suggest plans. Are you free tomorrow? And then the person can either say, no, I'm not. How about the day after? Or, yes, I am. Why? So that's free as an adjective. We can use free as an adverb, which means without cost. So it doesn't cost anything. So what's nice is our videos, once they're posted, anyone can watch them for free. If you would like to become a premium subscriber, and then that means you and I can email and we can talk. You have access to quizzes, tests, exams, so you just get more in depth with the class. If you're interested in that, scroll to the bottom of the video. There's the information. Otherwise, what's really nice is that these Smrt Live classes are free. Okay, that means anyone can watch them on the internet with no cost, and that's free as our adverb. Or we also have free as a verb, and it means to release, right? We would say set free, to release, right? So let's see. Sometimes if there's a war or a battle, there'll be prisoners, and then hopefully those prisoners will be set free. So they will be released, right? So that is free as our adjective, as our adverb, and as our verb, right? Looking over. Okay, great. Continuing on, get together. Here we go. We went over this before. Get together is just our phrasal verb. Let's get together for coffee this weekend. It just means make plans or come together. So I could even say I'm always so excited that me, all our wonderful students, were able to get together every Tuesday for our Smrt live classes. So there is get together once more. It's our phrasal verb. Goal. So do you have any goals for the year? So a goal is a noun, and it's just something that you want to have happen, or that you want to accomplish, or that you want to achieve. So it might be your goal to get 100% on your exam. It might just be your goal not to fail the exam. But goal is a noun, and it's something that you're hoping to achieve, that you're hoping to have happen. And it doesn't, of course, just have to be in academics or in school. It's all parts of life. So I've been able to visit I've been able to visit different places in the world, but it's my goal to go to, we know there's 7 continents and Antarctica that's completely frozen in ice. I don't need to go there, but it's my goal to someday visit all 6 continents where people live. People don't live in Antarctica, so I won't worry about that continent, but it is my goal to visit the other 6 continents. So something that I want to have happen, something that I want to achieve. So that is our goal. And then graduate. So of course, it's a huge goal. You're in school, you're at the college or the university. Of course, your biggest goal, your ultimate goal that you're working for is to graduate. So to graduate just means to finish. And this is always used in either an academic setting or in the setting where it's a class, right? So any type of class, certainly college or university, as once more this unit deals largely with academics and academia. So to graduate means to finish, right? You are graduated, you are done. Gym. And gym, we know a noun, person, place, or thing. Gym is a place. I always exercise at the gym at my university. So sometimes I think vocabulary words are best understood by me describing them. Sometimes it's just with the picture. So here is your picture, your illustration of a gym. Once more, it's a noun, it's a place. It's just a place where people work out. So maybe you run, maybe you lift weights. It's wherever you're working out. So there's another phrasal verb, to work out, to exercise. You exercise, you work out at the gym. All right, almost out of time. Let's see if we can do one more word. History. So the history of the country is very interesting. So history, we are always talking about the past, what has already happened. So using our vocabulary words, different events that have happened, different events that have taken place. The history would include the who, what, when, where, how of things that have already happened in the past. So each one of us has our personal history. So important events, important things that have happened in our past. Each country has their own history, different important events that have happened, important people that have lived. So history, and also it can be a subject that people study. You study in college or university or at your school. History can be a subject, and then that again would just be studying the past, studying the events that have happened and who, what, when, where, how of the past. That is history. Right, so wonderful. Natish says, what's the relation of history with the girl on the slide? Well, if you look carefully, the history of this country is very interesting. So on our slide, it looks like she is on vacation, she is on holiday, and she is visiting another country. And I certainly, when I travel, like to research the history of that country. So Natish, to answer your question, why do we have a slide? Why do we have a picture illustration of a girl on here? Because it looks like she is having the experience of traveling to another country, and the history of that country is very interesting. So I hope that answered your question. Oh, Rosa says the history of the United States is really interesting. The United States, we do have an interesting history. And what's also interesting about the United States is that we are actually we're a very young nation. We're only about 300 years old. And so we don't have a whole lot of history as far as when the United States was founded, but we have all the incredible history of the Native Americans. So the indigenous, and indigenous just means the people that were native, that were really here in America first before Europeans came over. But that's a whole big story and a whole big part of our history. So you are right, Rosa. The United States does have an interesting history. And once more, when I travel to other countries, I certainly like to look up the history or go to different historical, there's history turned into our adjective, go to different historical sites. All right, so Natty asked, history the same as story? History the same as story? A lot of history is told in stories, but it's important to note that we would consider these stories to be non-fiction. So we would consider these, hopefully, to be true stories. And then yes, true stories, absolutely, Natty, fantastic observation and comment. True stories, we would then say, are part of a history. Great question. We are out of time. We actually went a little bit over, but that's perfectly fine because I always have so much fun with you guys. And I hope that you guys have fun learning as well, and that you are excited each week to come to class, as I am always very excited to be here with you guys. And once more, if there were questions or comments that I was not able to get to during our time together, please just scroll to the bottom of the video. You can post them there. And while you're there, if you enjoyed this week's video, give a thumbs up. And so wherever you are at in the world, as always, I wish you a very good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night. And I will see you again next Tuesday. Thanks so much, guys.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.